Welcome to Crypt Theory, and welcome back. It has been around a year, full year, since I've done this. It was mainly because just sports, extracurriculars, school, and all that stuff. But I have refound the motivation to do this again, and I want to take this all the way. My goal, this channel, 5K subs by 2026. We have less than 100. We have like 20 something. So if you're seeing this video, if you would do me a favor, make sure you like, subscribe, do all the fun things. Comment down below any horror icons or anything, any series or anything, any ideas y'all would want me to see me do. Anyways, thank you for waiting about a year for seeing this, and let's get into the video. Today, we are starting our journey around the world. What I plan on doing is go to every single country and do one or two of their, what I find most interesting, cryptids, horror legends, and stuff like that. And today, we are starting in Japan. And with Japan, we're thinking, oh, where can we go? We have actually a lot of places to go with Japan. The one I chose, and the one I know the most about, is the onryo. So the onryo is a vengeful spirit in the Japanese culture, often of women that have died of intense emotions like rage, betrayal, jealousy, or sorrow, and return seeking vengeance on the world and those who wronged them. Their motivations are often abused wives, murdered lovers, betrayed servants, that they couldn't find peace in death, and they ended in a traumatic way, and they weren't ready to die. And that leads to the vengeful spirit wanting to have no mercy against the ones that wronged them in their lives. Unlike most benign spirits, the onryo can harm the living and cause disasters. It's said to cause disasters as plagues, earthquakes, fires, like natural disasters, or diseases as such. With that, it's very interesting because not many vengeful spirits can attack the living. They can do things around the they can attack the living directly, but they can't cause natural disasters or viruses of any kind, which I find that interesting. Their normal appearance: the white kimono or a funeral white dress, long unkempt black hair, pale blush skin, hollow wide eyes, and limbs that may dangle unnaturally. Here's a represent picture right here of the onryo from The Ring. And that's usually what they are depicted as in media and in drawings. So we're off to the historical origins of this part. The Haitian period, which is 794 AD to 1185 AD. This is a period of the golden age of art in Japan, poetry, and court culture. Centered in capital Heian-kyo, modern-day Kyoto. It was also a time of deep spiritual anxiety. The autocracy believed that a person who died with intense rage, betrayal, or sorrow could return as a vengeful spirit or an onryo, capable of causing, as said before, natural disasters, illness, and or death upon the ones that wronged them. With this, this was the main start of a lot of Japanese cultures, was the Haitian period, or not cultures, legends, horror legends, spirits, and all that. So, this is a big part in history, not just for Japan, also for other Asian countries. This is when mainly all their major legends that haunt people to the day, and even the forgotten ones, but the most haunting legends usually come from this period, especially in the Asian realm. Why did the Haitian period give rise to the onryo legend? It's the political intrigue or betrayal. Court life was full of backstabbing and power struggles, often resulting in exile or execution. Perfect conditions to create angry spirits. And then Buddhist beliefs. Haitian era Buddhism taught that dying with attachment or resentment disturbed one's rebirth, trapping the soul in the world of the living. When we get into a lot of these, especially the angry spirit ones, they have a lot to do with religion, which is very interesting how a lot of religions have. A lot of people only see the good sides of religion that don't really look into it. They only see the really good sides, and then the bad sides are just covered up and pushed under the rug normally, or from what I see at least. Disaster equals spirit's wrath. Earthquakes, plagues, and lightning were often blamed on the wrath of the onryo, the angry noble spirits, an early form of the onryo. So the onryo was just a noble spirit. It's supposed to be a noble spirit instead of just an angry spirit. So it was some noble that died in unforeseen circumstances or disturbing circumstances, which made them mad and caused disasters. Or that's what they blamed the disasters on. Sugawara no Michizane, I think that's how you say it. He was exiled and died in despair. After his death, disasters struck the capital. The court believed that he had become an onryo and defied him as tenjin to calm his spirit, marking him one of the first major onryo legends. The Haitian the Haitian period established the idea about that the dead could influence the living with terrifying consequences, an idea that shaped Japanese ghost lore for centuries. This is majority the base for a lot of Japanese folklore. So back on more. The tale of Sugawara no Michizane. I think that's how you say it. Pretty sure. After his death, Kyoto was struck by a series of disasters. Lightning strikes hit the imperial palace. A Fujiwara noble was killed by lightning. Plagues and earthquakes swept through the capital. The crowned prince died unexpectedly. These are all examples of them believing after this guy's death, all these unfortunate events happened relatively soon after, which more enforced that he had become an onryo. It was already believed beforehand, and this more enforced the idea and belief. Some of the most famous legends, a little quick rundown of 3 of the most famous legends. Oiwa from Yodasuya Kidan. These names are going to be so butchered. I'm very sorry. This is perhaps the most iconic one. Oiwa is betrayed and distinguished by her husband, Lemon, who poisons her to marry a wealthier woman. So her husband poisons his wife to marry a more rich woman. The poison leaves her face horribly swollen and deformed before she dies in agony. After her death, Oiwa's vengeful spirit returns, haunting Lemon relentlessly, appearing in mirrors, lanterns, and the faces of those around him, freaking him out, terrifying him, just remembering her face, looking and staring into her eyes at all times, at all points that would make him terrified. Her terrifying presence drives him insane and ultimately leads to his destruction of himself. Which I think that's interesting, of the fact that you killed your wife to marry a wealthier woman, and then all you do is just see your dead wife's face everywhere. That would lead anybody to go insane. The second one is Okiku from Bancho Sarayasuki. Bancho Sarayasuki. Okio is a servant falsely accused of breaking one of 10 valuable plates. Despite her innocence, she is killed and thrown into a well by her master. After death, her ghost rises at each night, counting to 9 before letting out a blood-curdling scream when she can't find the 10th plate. Her relentless spirit haunts the mansion, driving her killer to madness. This tale is reenacted in many forms, including No and Kabuki, which are various theater forms in Japan. So I see this reminds me of Ringu, or The Ring. The only thing that really reminds me of it is the well part, her thrown in a well. That's pretty much it. That's the only thing that reminds me of it, but yeah, it's very interesting of how many of these stories that I found, a lot of them involve people just getting thrown into wells, especially young girls getting just chucked into wells and then forgotten about. So to avoid an onryo, just don't throw people into wells, I guess. So the third very, very interesting and intriguing one. A love ghost story. A man unknowingly dates the ghost of a woman, Otsuyu, who died. This is from Botandoro. A lonely man named Ojiwara meets a beautiful woman named Otsu and falls in love. Unbeknownst to him, Ochi's already dead, and he's been sleeping next to a rotting corpse. Even after discovering the truth, his obsession drives him back to her, where he dies entwined in her skeleton beneath the covers. This is just, I think, my belief is it's just a story of insanity, and the onryo is just tied in varied ways. But I think this is just a story just of insanity and somebody driving themselves into, I'm actually dating this person and she is real and she is not dead. Even when he snaps back into reality and realizes that she is dead, he's like, he can't convince himself she's not. That's what I feel. All right. The onryo in culture and religion. By the way, all these like mini parts will be timestamped, so if you ever want to go back to a part or want to skip ahead to a part that you might find interesting, please do. Buddhism and the onryo. In Japanese Buddhism, the concept of the onryo highlights the spiritual danger of dying with strong negative emotions like rage, sorrow, or attachment. Such a death disrupts the soul's peaceful transition into the next life, trapping its relentless spirit. Onryo are seen as beings in need of release, not just fear. So monks perform rituals, prayers, and offerings to help these spirits let go of their suffering and move on to the cycle of rebirth, samsara. So I found that interesting in Japanese Buddhism, it is seen as an onryo is as proven before, an angry spirit that can't move on into the afterlife, or into what this culture believes is a rebirth and a new life. It's like the spirit is trapped because there's so much rage that these monks will give them prayers and offerings to let these spirits suffering move on, which I find interesting. Now into the No and Kabuki theater. Onryo play a central role in both of these forms of Japanese theater, serving as powerful symbols of repressed emotion, moral justice, and spiritual imbalance. And no, onryos are often portrayed as tragic figures seeking peace, appearing in minimalist poetic stories where their suffering is slowly revealed. In Kabuki, they are on a more dramatic, terrifying presence with vivid makeup, sudden appearances, and supernatural effects, capturing the audience's fear and sympathy. The core idea of all this stuff is that the onryo in these traditional theaters embody emotional intensity and more consequence, blending horror with tragedy to explore the impact of justice and unresolved pain in death. I think this was a really good video to go first video back to something that I have a good interest in. And just the two big ones that are more modern representations of these, as I said before, the Sadako from The Ring, or Ringu, direct descendants of Oiwa and Okiku archetypes, and then Kyoko, which is Juon, or better known as in English, the Grudge. It's an iconic onryo who kills anyone entering her cursed house. There's a lot more on this topic if you want to look into it. This is just the basic rundown. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell below. I plan on posting a lot more over the summer. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a year. If you're still here, thank you so much. And one final thing is, I plan on getting to 5,000 subs by the end of 2026, or by the end of 2025, before 2026. If you can please help me make that happen, just hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.